Hey there, nature enthusiasts! Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating world of the Philippine eagle. This majestic bird is not only the national bird of the Philippines, but also the largest and most powerful eagle in the world. First, let's talk about names and taxonomy. The Philippine eagle, also known as the monkey-eating eagle, has two recognized subspecies, the Visayan eagle and the Luzon eagle. They belong to the genus Pithecophagi, which means monkey eater in Greek, and the family Accipitridae, which includes other eagles, hawks, and kites. Now, let's explore the evolutionary history of the Philippine eagle. It's believed that these eagles evolved from the sea eagles that inhabited the region around 20 million years ago. Moving on to description, the Philippine eagle is a massive bird with a wingspan of up to 2.3 meters. It has a distinctive white head and chest, and a dark brown back. As for distribution and habitat, these eagles are found in the rainforests of the Philippines, particularly on the islands of Luzon, Samar, Leyte, and Mindanao. They're known to hunt monkeys, but also feed on smaller animals such as bats, rodents, and birds. When it comes to reproduction, Philippine eagles typically lay eggs in a nest built in the branches of a tree. Conservation efforts are crucial for this endangered species. In 2016, the Philippine eagle was successfully reintroduced to light, marking a significant milestone in their conservation journey. Lastly, let's talk about Philippine eagle diplomacy. This initiative aims to promote awareness and conservation efforts for the Philippine eagle, and it's a great example of how diplomacy can be used to protect endangered species. Thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey into the world of the Philippine eagle. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow and subscribe for more amazing wildlife facts. Stay curious and keep exploring. The Philippine eagle, Pithecophagi jeffrey, also known as the monkey-eating eagle or great Philippine eagle, is a critically endangered species of eagle of the family Accipitridae, which is endemic to forests. In the Philippines, it has brown and white-colored plumage, a shaggy crest, and generally measures 86 to 100 centimeters to 0.82 to 3.35 feet in length and weighs for 0.04 to 8.0 kilograms, 8.9 to 17.6 pounds. The Philippine eagle is considered the largest of the extant eagles in the world in terms of length and wing surface area, with only Steller's sea eagle and the harpy eagle being larger in terms of weight and bulk. 3-4. It has been declared the national bird of the Philippines. It is also depicted in the Philippine 1,000 peso note. 5-6. The species had been classified by the IUCN Red List as critically endangered with a declining population and is one of the most endangered raptors in the world. The most significant threat to the species is loss of habitat, a result of high levels of deforestation throughout most of its range. Since 2019, more than 20 eagles have been rescued, mostly due to injuries from gunshot wounds. 7. Killing a Philippine eagle is a criminal offense, punishable by law with up to 12 years imprisonment and heavy fines. 8. The Accipitridae, Cassipstridae, D, is one of the 4 families within the order Accipitriformes, 2, and is a family of small to large birds of prey with strongly hooked bills and variable morphology based on diet. They feed on a range of prey items from insects to medium-sized mammals, with a number feeding on carrion and a few feeding on fruit. The Accipitridae have a cosmopolitan distribution, being found on all the world's continents except Antarctica and a number of oceanic island groups. Some species are migratory. The family contains 256 species, which are divided into 12 subfamilies and 75 genera. Many well-known birds such as hawks, eagles, kites, harriers, and Old World vultures are included in this group. The osprey is usually placed in a separate family, Pandionidae, as is the secretary bird Sagittariidae, and the New World vultures are also usually now regarded as a separate family or order. Karyotype data 3-5 indicate the Accipitrids analyst are indeed a distinct monophyletic group. The Philippines is an archipelago that comprises 7,641 islands, and with a total land area of 300,000 square kilometers, 115,831 square miles, it is the world's fifth largest island country. 239. The 11 largest islands contain 95% of the total land area. The largest of these islands is Luzon at about 105,000 square kilometers, 40,541 square miles. The next largest island is Mindanao at about 95,000 square kilometers, 36,680 square miles. The archipelago is around 800 kilometers, 500 miles from the Asian mainland and is located between Taiwan and Borneo. The Philippine archipelago is divided into three island groups: Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. The Luzon Islands include Luzon itself, Palawan, Mindoro, Marinduque, Masbate, Romblon, Catanduanes, Batanes, and Polillo. The Visayas is a group of islands in the central Philippines, the largest of which are Panay, Negros, Cebu, Bohol, Leyte, Samar, Siquijor, Biliran, and Guimaras. The Mindanao Islands include Mindanao itself, Dinagat, Siargao, Camiguin, Samar, plus the Sulu Archipelago, composed primarily of Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. The Philippines lies between 423 and 21 north end latitude and between 116 and 127 east longitude. Steller sea eagle Haliaeetus pelagicus, also known as the Pacific sea eagle or white-shouldered eagle, citation needed, is a very large diurnal bird of prey in the family Accipitridae. It was described first by Peter Simon Pallas in 1811. No subspecies are recognized. A sturdy eagle, it has dark brown plumage with white wings and tail, a yellow beak, and yellow talons. Typically, it is the heaviest eagle in the world, at about 5 to 10 kilograms, 11 to 22 pounds, but in some standard measurements, may be ranked below the harpy eagle Harpia harpia and the Philippine eagle Pithecofaga. Jefferied 4. Steller sea eagle females are bigger than males. The Steller sea eagle is endemic to coastal northeastern Asia, where it lives in Russia, Korea, Japan, China, and Taiwan. It mainly preys on fish and water birds. The Kamchatka Peninsula in far eastern Russia is known for its relatively large population of these birds. About 4,000 of these eagles live there. 5. Steller sea eagle is listed as vulnerable on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List IUCN Red List of threatened species. This is a list of national birds, including official birds of overseas territories and other states described as nations. Most species in the list are officially designated. Some species hold only an unofficial status. The official status column is marked as yes only if the bird currently holds the position of the official national bird. Additionally, the list includes birds that were once official but are no longer, as well as birds recognized as national symbols or for other symbolic roles. The Philippine eagle has numerous native names in the Philippine languages. These include Banoy and Agila, a Spanish loanword, in Tagalog, Manao or Manao in the Visayan languages, Manao or Garuda in Maranao and Maguindanao, Tipul in Subanan, and Mambuguk or Malambuguk in the Monobo languages, Clada, Tagabawa, Mandaya, and Calagan. Some of these names are also used for other large eagles in general, such as the white-breasted sea eagle, also called Manao in Visayan. In modern Filipino, it is usually referred to as Haraban, a portmanteau of Haringaban, literally bird king. 5.9. The first European to study the species was the English explorer and naturalist John Whitehead in 1896, who observed the bird and whose servant, Juan, collected the first specimen a few weeks later. 10. The skin of the bird was sent to William Robert Ogilvy Grant in London in 1896, who initially showed it off in a local restaurant and described the species a few weeks later. 11. Upon its scientific discovery, the Philippine eagle was first called the monkey-eating eagle because of reports from natives of Bonga, Samar, where the species was first discovered, that it preyed exclusively on monkeys. 12. These reports gave its generic name from the Greek Pithecus Phi E Theta Eta Kappa Omicron Sigma, ape or monkey, and Phagus Phi E Gamma Omicron Sigma, eater. The species name commemorates Geoffrey Whitehead, the father of John Whitehead. 11. Later studies revealed, however, that the alleged monkey-eating eagle also ate other animals, such as colugos, large snakes, monitor lizards, and even large birds such as hornbills. This, coupled with the fact that the same name applied to the African crowned eagle and the Central and South American harpy eagle. It was renamed Philippine eagle in a 1978 proclamation by then-President Ferdinand Marcos. 14. In 1995, it was declared a national emblem under President Fidel V. Ramos. This species has no recognized subspecies. 15. Evolutionary historian 1919 study of the bird's skeletal features led to the suggestion that the nearest relative was the harpy eagle Harpia harpia. 16. The species was included in the subfamily Harpinae until a 2005 study of DNA sequences which identified them as not members of the group, finding instead that the nearest relatives are snake eagles circatinae, such as the battler. The species has subsequently been placed in the subfamily Circatinae. 17. The Philippine eagle's nape is adorned with long, brown feathers that form a shaggy, mane-like crest. The eagle has a dark face and a creamy brown nape and crown. The back of the Philippine eagle is dark brown, while the underside and underwings are white. The heavy legs are yellow, with large, powerful, dark claws, and the prominent, large, high-arched, deep beak is a bluish-gray. The eagle's eyes are blue-gray. Juveniles are similar to adults, except their upper part feathers have pale fringes. 18. The Philippine eagle is typically reported as measuring 86 to 100 centimeters to feet 10 and 3 feet 4 in total length. For 18, 19, 20, but a survey of several specimens from some of the largest natural history collectio NS in the world found the average was 95 centimeters 3 feet 1 in for males and 105 centimeters 3 feet 5 and 4 females. 21. Based on the latter measurements, this makes it the longest extant species of eagle, as the average for the female equals the maximum reported for the harpy eagle 20 and Steller sea eagle. For the longest Philippine eagle reported anywhere, and the longest eagle outside of the extinct Haast's eagle, is a specimen from Field Museum of Natural History with a length of 112 centimeters 3 feet 8 in. But it had been kept in captivity 3, so may not represent the wild individuals due to differences in the food availability. 20 to 23. The level of sexual dimorphism in size is not certain, but the male is believed to be typically about 10% smaller than the female. And this is supported by the average length provided for males and females in one source. 21. In many of the other large eagle species, the size difference between adult females and males can exceed 20%. For adult Philippine eagles, the complete weight range has been reported as for 0.7 to 8.0 kilograms, 10.4 to 17.6 pounds. For 25, while others have found the average was somewhat lower than the above range would indicate that for 0.5 kilograms, 9.9 pounds for males and 6.0 kilograms, 13.2 pounds for females. 21. One male age not specified was found to weigh for 0.04 kilograms, 8.9 pounds. 26. The Philippine eagle has a wingspan of 184 to 220 centimeters, 6 feet 0 into 7 feet 3 in, and a wing chord length of 57.4 to 61.4 centimeters, 20.6 to 24.2 in. The maximum reported weight is surpassed by 2 other eagles, the harpy and Steller sea eagles, and the wings are shorter than large eagles of open country, such as the white-tailed eagle, Steller's sea eagle, martial eagle, or wedge-tailed eagle, but are quite broad. 4. The tarsus of the Philippine eagle ties as the longest of any eagle from 12.2 to 14.5 centimeters for 0.8 to 5.7 in long, which is about the same length as that of the much smaller but relatively long-legged New Guinea eagle. 4. The very large but laterally compressed bill rivals the size of Steller sea eagles as the largest bill for an extant eagle. Its bill averages 7.2 centimeters to 0.84 in length from the gape. 3. The tail is fairly long at 42 to 45.3 centimeters, 16.5 to 17.8 in. For while another source lists a tail length of 50 centimeters, 20 in. 28. The most frequently heard noises made by the Philippine eagle are loud, high-pitched whistles ending with inflections in pitch. 29. Additionally, juveniles have been known to beg for food by a series of high-pitched calls. 18. Distribution and habitat. Philippine eagle's habitat representation in Philippine National Museum. The Philippine eagle is endemic to the Philippines and can be found on four major islands: Eastern Luzon, Samar, Leyte, and Mindanao. The largest numbers of eagles reside on Mindanao, with between 82 and 233 breeding pairs. Only 6 pairs are found on Samar, 2 on Leyte, and a few on Luzon. It can be found in northern Sierra Madre National Park on Luzon and Mount Apo, Mount Malandang, and Mount Kitonglad National Parks on Mindanao. 1130, this eagle is found in Dipterocarp and mid-montane forests, particularly in steep areas. Only an estimated 9,220 square kilometers to 1,280,000 acres of old-growth forest remain in the bird's range. 11. However, its total estimated range is about 146,000 square kilometers, 56,000 square miles. 18. Ecology and behavior illustration of a Philippine eagle kept in captivity in London in 1909-1910. Evolution in the Philippines without other predators made the eagles the dominant hunter in the Philippine forests. The Philippine eagle has a wide range of prey, which includes birds, reptiles, and mammals, mainly civets and colugos. 31. Each breeding pair requires a large home range to successfully raise a chick. Thus, the species is extremely vulnerable to deforestation. Earlier, the territory has been estimated at 100 square kilometers, 39 square miles, but a study on Mindanao Island found the nearest distance between breeding pairs to be about 13 kilometers, 8.1 miles on average, resulting in a circular plot of 133 square kilometers, 51 square miles. 30. The species' flight is fast and agile, resembling the smaller hawks more than similar large birds of prey. 33. Juveniles in play behavior have been observed gripping knotholes in trees with their talons and using their tails and wings for balance, inserting their heads into tree cavities. 34. Additionally, they have been known to attack inanimate objects for practice, as well as attempt to hang upside down to work on their balance. 34. As the parents are not nearby when this occurs, they apparently do not play a role in teaching the juvenile to hunt. 30. For life expectancy for a wild eagle is estimated to be from 30 to 60 years. A captive Philippine eagle lived for 41 years in Rome Zoo, and it was already an adult when it arrived at the zoo. 34. Another captive Philippine eagle lived for 46 years at the Philippine Eagle Center in Davao City. 35. However, wild birds on average are believed to live shorter lives than captive birds. 34. The Philippine eagle was known initially as the Philippine monkey-eating eagle because it was believed to feed on monkeys almost exclusively. 4. The only 2 monkeys native to the Philippines are Philippine long-tailed macaque and common long-tailed macaques. Both are subspecies of crab-eating macaque and weighing for 0.7 to 8.3 kilograms, 10 to 18 pounds in males, and to 0.5 to 5.7 kilograms, 5.5 to 12.6 pounds in females. 36. Though Philippine eagles do prey on these monkeys, they are an opportunist apex predator, taking prey based on their local level of abundance and ease. 37. This misconception may have come from the first examined specimen, which was found to have undigested pieces of a monkey in its stomach. 37 prey specimens found at the eagle's nest have ranged in size from a small bat weighing 10 g, 0.35 ounces, to a Philippine deer weighing 14 kilograms, 31 pounds. 37. The primary prey is usually the tree squirrel-sized Philippine flying lemurs, which can make up an estimated 90% of the raptor's diet in some locations. 33, however, primary prey species vary from island to island depending on species availability, particularly in Luzon and Mindanao, because the islands are in different faunal regions. For example, flying lemurs are preferred prey in Mindanao, but are absent in Luzon. 11. The primary prey for the eagles seen in Luzon are macaques, reptiles, and northern Luzon giant cloud rat Phloemys pallidus, which can weigh twice as much as flying lemurs at 2.2 to 0.5 kilograms for 0.425.5 L. In many regions, civets are taken as supplemental prey, mainly cat-sized Asian palm civets, Paradoxurus hermaphroditus, but occasionally larger Malay civets, Viveraton lalunga. 37, 38, 39, 40. Other mammalian prey can include flying squirrels, tree squirrels, flying foxes, rats, and mouse deer. 37, 41. Birds are also taken, including large species such as owls, hawks, and hornbills. For reptiles occasionally form a large part of their diet. Snakes such as Taius luzonensis and Goniosoma oxycephalum are mainly taken. 39. Venomous pit. Vipers Viperidae are also taken as prey, and in one instance, a breeding pair delivered a Philippine cobra Naya philippinensis to the nest. 38-40. Monitor lizards, including marbled water monitors Varanus marmoratus, and even larger northern Sierra Madre forest monitors Varanus beta-tawa, have been taken. 39-37. While most of the prey consists of wild prey, they have been reported to capture domestic fowls Gallus domesticus, cats Felis catus, young pigs Sus domesticus, and small dogs Canis familiaris. 37, 33, 39, 38. Philippine eagles. Primarily used, one is still hunting, in which it watches for prey activity while sitting almost motionlessly on a branch near the canopy. The other is perch hunting, which entails periodically gliding from one perch to another. While perch hunting, they often work their way gradually down from the canopy down the branches, and if not successful in finding prey in their initial foray, they fly or circle back up to the top of the trees to work them again. Eagles in Mindanao often find success using the latter method while hunting flying lemurs, since they are nocturnal animals that try to use camouflage to protect themselves by day. For eagle pairs sometimes hunt troops of monkeys cooperatively, with one bird perching nearby to distract the primates, allowing the other to swoop in from behind, hopefully unnoticed, for the kill. Since the native macaque is aggressive and often around the same size as the eagle itself or even larger, up to 9 kilograms, 20 pounds in adult males, it is a potentially hazardous prey. And an eagle has been reported to suffer a broken leg after it struggled and fell along with a large male monkey. Reproduction. A Philippine eagle nestling, the complete breeding cycle of the Philippine eagle, lasts 2 years. The female matures sexually at 5 years of age and the male at 7. Like most eagles, the Philippine eagle is monogamous. Once paired, a couple remains together for the rest of their lives. 10. If one dies, the remaining eagle often searches for a new mate to replace the one lost. 30. For the beginning of courtship is signaled by nest building, and the eagle remaining near its nest. Aerial displays also play a major role in the courtship. These displays include paired soaring over a nesting territory, the male chasing the female in a diagonal dive, and mutual talon presentation, where the male presents his talons to the female's back, and she flips over in mid-air to present her own talons. Advertisement displays coupled with loud calling have also been reported. The willingness of an eagle to breed is displayed by the eagle bringing nesting materials to the bird's nest. Copulation follows and occurs repeatedly both on the nest and on nearby perches. The earliest courtship has been reported in July. 30 for breeding season is in July. Birds on different islands, most notably Mindanao and Luzon, begin breeding at different ends of this range. 10 The amount of rainfall and population of prey may also affect the breeding season. 10. The nest is normally built on an emergent dipterocarp, or any tall tree with an open crown, in primary or disturbed forest. The nests are lined with green leaves and can be around 1.5 meters for 0.9 feet across. The nesting location is around 30 meters, 98 feet, or even more above the ground. 1133. The eagle frequently reuses the same nesting site for several different chicks. 8 to 10 days before the egg is ready to be laid, the female is afflicted with a condition known as egg lethargy. In this experience, the female does not eat, drinks much water, and holds her wings droopingly. 34. The female typically lays one egg in the late afternoon or at dusk, although occasionally to have been reported. 33-34. If an egg fails to hatch or the chick dies early, the parents likely lay another egg the following year. Copulation may take place a few days after the egg is laid to enable another egg to be laid should the first one fail. The egg is incubated for 58 to 68 days, typically 62 days, after being laid. 4. Both sexes participate in the incubation, but the female does the majority of incubating during the day and all of it at night. 30 for both sexes help feed the newly hatched eaglet. Additionally, the parents have been observed taking turns shielding the eaglet from the sun and rain until it is 7 weeks old. 34. The young eaglet fledges after 4 or 5 months. 33. The earliest an eagle has been observed making a kill is 300 for days after hatching. 34. Both parents take care of the eaglet for a total of 20 months, and, unless the previous nesting attempt had failed, the eagles can breed only in alternate years. For 10. The Philippine eagle rivals to other large tropical eagles, namely the crowned eagle and harpy eagle, for having the longest breeding cycle of any bird of prey. For 42. Even nests have no predators other than humans, as even known nest predators, such as palm civets and macaques, being prey species, are likely to actively avoid any area with regular eagle activity. 43. Conservation of Philippine eagle named Sir Arnie at the Philippine Eagle Center, Davao City in 1994. The IUCN and BirdLife International listed this species as critically endangered. 118. The IUCN believe that between 180 and 500 Philippine eagles survive in the Philippines. 10. In 2015, about 600 were estimated to be left in the wild. 40 for the Zoological Society of London listed the Philippine eagle as the top 15 edge species out of all the world's recorded species, making it the Philippines' most evolutionary distinct and globally endangered species. 45. They are threatened primarily by deforestation through logging and expanding agriculture. Old-growth forest is being lost at a high rate, and most of the forest in the lowlands is owned by logging companies. 11. Mining, pollution, exposure to pesticides that affect breeding, and poaching are also major threats. 8-10. Additionally, they are occasionally caught in traps laid by local people for deer. Though this is no longer a major problem, the eagle's numbers were also reduced by being captured for zoos. 10. The diminishing numbers of the Philippine eagle were first brought to international attention in 1965 by the noted Filipino ornithologist Dioscoro S. Raber and the director of the Parks and Wildlife Office, Jesus A. Alvarez. 46, 47, 48. Charles Lindbergh, best known for crossing the Atlantic alone and without stopping in 1927, was fascinated by this eagle. As a representative of the World Wildlife Fund, Lindbergh traveled to the Philippines several times between 1969 and 1972, where he helped persuade the government to protect the eagle. In 1969, the monkey-eating eagle conservation program was started to help preserve this species. In 1992, the first Philippine eagles were hatched in captivity through artificial insemination. However, the first naturally bred eagle was not hatched until 1999. The first captive bred bird to be released in the wild, Kabayan, was released in 2000 on Mindanao. However, he was accidentally electrocuted in January 2005. Another eagle, Kagsabua, was released in March 2008, but was shot and eaten by a farmer. 10 in June 2015, an eagle was released after being treated for a gunshot wound. 2 months later, it was shot and killed. 44. Killing this critically endangered species is punishable under Philippine law by 12 years in jail and heavy fines. Its numbers have slowly dwindled over the decades to the current population of 180 to 600 eagles. A series of floods and mudslides, caused by deforestation, further devastated the remaining population. The Philippine eagle may soon no longer be found in the wild, unless direct intervention is taken. The Philippine Eagle Foundation in Davao City is one organization dedicated to the protection and conservation of the Philippine eagle and its forest habitat. The Philippine Eagle Foundation has successfully bred Philippine eagles in captivity for over a decade and conducted the first experimental release of a captive bred eagle to the wild. As of 2025, the foundation has bred 31 eagles in captivity, although breeding has slowed in recent years, in which the 28/30th chicks were bred in 2016, 2021, and 2024. Unfortunately, the 29th and 30th chicks were not able to make it to adulthood. In 2025, the 31st chick, named Riley, was hatched and died on the 16th of April of the same year with an undisclosed cause. This chick is especially significant as this is the first ever chick born through a natural pair, as all previous chicks were bred via artificial insemination. 49/50/40 for 51/52. Ongoing research on behavior, ecology, and population dynamics is also underway. In recent years, protected lands have been established specifically for this species, such as the 700 square kilometers, 170,000 acres of Kabuaya Forest and the 37.2 square kilometers, 200 acres of Taft Forest Wildlife Sanctuary on Samar. 53. However, a large proportion of the population is found on unprotected land. 10. Reintroduction to Laytine 2024. The Philippine Eagle Foundation decided to start a project which would involve the transplantation of Philippine eagles in light where this species survives, but may have been extirpated, as the last records were prior to Typhoon Haiyan Yolanda in 2013, which devastated the forests and have had no sightings since then. In June 2024, two rescued and non-paired eagles with tracking devices from Mindanao were released. They were released in hopes that they would form a pair, but this project faced a significant setback when the male named U.S.WAG was found dead at sea. Researchers believe that this eagle got blown off course and drowned at sea. As of October 2024, the female named Carlito was documented alive and is hunting and able to fend for itself. 50 for 55/56. Philippine Eagle Diplomacy. In a June 2019 wildlife loan agreement, a pair of Philippine eagles, as of 2019, Geothermica, a 15-year-old male, and Sambizig, meaning one unity, a 17-year-old female, were loaned to the Jurong Bird Park, Singapore. 57. This was part of conservation efforts for the species and also commemorated 50 years friendship between the Philippines and Singapore. Before the pair were shipped, they were given to specially printed passports dedicated to them. The pair were scheduled to stay at Singapore for 10 years as part of the agreement. 58. The move marked the initiation of the government's Philippine Eagle Diplomacy Program. 59/60. As of 2024, Geothermica had died from lung infection, his body now taxidermied at the National Museum, while Sambizig remained in Singapore at the new bird park that replaced Jurong. Despite this setback, Singapore Zoo and the Philippine Eagle Foundation maintain that this breeding program will continue, and it will be likely that another possible mate for Sambizig will be loaned. 6162 in August 2024, the Philippine Eagle Foundation launched the Philippine Eagle Geothermica's Gateway Project facility as tribute to 19-year-old Geothermica, who died from an Aspergillus mold's fungal infection at the Bird Paradise, Mandai Wild Reserve in September 2022. His sculpture stands in the center of the new facility, while his taxidermied body is currently displayed at the National Museum of the Philippines. The PEF partnered with Mandai Wildlife Group, United Architects of the Philippines, Davao City, and Kablai Milan for the project. 63. Representations be passports issued to Geothermica and Sambizig, individual eagles, which were loaned to Singapore. The Philippine eagle was officially declared the national bird of the Philippines on July 4, 1995, by President Fidel V. Ramos under Proclamation No. 615, Series of 1995. 60 for 65 due to the eagle's size and rarity. It is also a coveted species for bird watchers. 33. The Philippine eagle has been featured on at least 12 stamps from the Philippines, with dates ranging from 1967 to 2007. It was also depicted on the 50 centimo coins minted from 1983 to 1994. In 2018, on the 500 peso commemorative silver coin to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. 66 on January 18, 2021. And on the 5,000 peso Lapu-Lapu commemorative non-circulating banknote. 67 on December 11, 2021, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas unveiled the design of the new 1,000 peso polymer banknote featuring the bird as the main portrait, controversially replacing those of 3 World War II martyrs, Chief Justice Jose Abad Santos, suffragist Josefa Lanes Escoda, and General Vicente Lim. Historically, about 50 Philippine eagles have been kept in zoos in Europe, England, Germany, Belgium, Italy and France, the United States, and Japan. 68. The first was a female that arrived in London Zoo in August 1909-68 and died there in February 1910. 69. The majority arrived in zoos between 1947 and 1965. 68. The last outside the Philippines died in 1988 in the Antwerp Zoo, where it had lived since 1964, except for a period at the Plankendale Zoo in Belgium. 68. The first captive breeding was only achieved in 1992 at the facility of the Philippine Eagle Foundation in Davao City, which has bred 31 times as of 2025. 1070. The Philippine eagle is also used in sporting events as a mascot, most notably one in the 2005 Southeast Asian Games held in Manila known as Gilas. The Philippine eagle is also the animal used in the Philippines men's national basketball team, or Gilas Pilipinas logo, Team Crest, Pag-asa Filipino, PAC-A.SA. January 15, 1992. January 6, 2021, was a Philippine eagle and the first of his species to be bred and hatched in captivity. One Pag-asa was bred by a team of the Philippine Eagle Conservation Program Foundation, PECPF, now Philippine Eagle Foundation, led by Executive Director Dennis Salvador and Camp Manager Domingo Tadna. 2. This was a result of 14 years of research. 3. Pag-asa was bred through artificial insemination and hatched through a combined artificial and natural incubation technique taught by the World Center for Birds of Prey. He was the first offspring, the second being Pagkakesa, later renamed Tawala, of Philippine eagles. Diola died 1994, imprinted on caretaker Ganaforte Culiao, and Junior imprinted on caretaker Bernardino Salarza. 2. Then 22-year-old Diola laid the egg, and Junior, found in Agusan, donated sperm. She sat the egg for 12 days before it was transferred to an incubator. According to the PECPF, The breeding technique improved the hatchability of the egg by as much as 30%. To this is a list of the bird species recorded in the Philippines. The avifauna of the Philippines include a total of 743 species, of which 229 are endemic. 5 have been introduced by humans. This lists taxonomic treatment designation and sequence of orders, families and species, and nomenclature, common and scientific names, follow the conventions of the Clements Checklist of Birds of Th. E. World 2022 edition. The family accounts at the beginning of each heading reflect this taxonomy, as do the species counts found in each family account. Introduced and accidental species are included in the total counts for the Philippines. The following tags have been used to highlight several categories. The commonly occurring native species do not fall into any of these categories.